Alright guys, today I decided to do a little bit something different than what I've been usually doing. Today I'm going to be walking you guys through my party composition for my current Tactician playthrough. This playthrough is pretty much already done. There's a few things that I have to do before it is complete, but I figured you guys could gain a little knowledge from this to see how what late game should look like. Now right off the bat, I'm going to say the build that you guys are looking at right now is not super min-maxed. Uh, it is the main character. See invisibility, right? So if you guys are looking for like the super min-maxed and no roleplay whatsoever, just super min-maxed, this is not the video, honestly. There are other YouTubers who will do that, but I feel like this is very simple. The builds that I'm about to show you guys and how they work together. I feel like it's more relatable to the average player too. I feel like the average player isn't gonna want to do like a runk, a, a runk. Yeah, it's basically what it is. A rogue monk multi-class that there's only like four pieces of gear in the game that really synergizes with it. On top of having like this crazy uh this crazy multi-classes. This is a very simple build right here, and all of my builds are very simple. So to start with, this is, if you guys couldn't already tell, this is a Bard lot. Also, I have a Channel Divinity, but that's because I have the Amulet of the Devout. It's not because I'm multi-classing. The only reason I have the Amulet of Devout on is for the +2 bonus to spell save DC. This is my crowd control build. Uh, and what you'll notice is most of the spells that I have are some form of crowd control. And that's for a reason, right? Fear, hold monster, hold person. But you'll also notice I have Sanctuary. Now, neither one of these sorcerers or warlocks get Sanctuary. I used a magical secret to get Sanctuary. That is how good Sanctuary is. And let me show you why. So, we can just say real quick. So, if we save, and I can just show you, we can cast Haste, and then we can Sanctuary ourselves. And what that means is it's basically impossible for us to lose concentration on Haste. Which is, if you guys could imagine, is very strong. And hey, the thing about Sanctuary, it's a bonus action, guys. So that means you can cast Sanctuary on yourself as a bonus action. And that's very strong. Now, the reason why I say this is not a min-max build, if this was a min-max build for Tactician mode specifically, instead of doing another, what I would do is I would do 6 into Bard. Well, actually, hold on. I would start off as 4 into Sorcerer for the Constitution saving throws in the proficiency and Constitution saving throws that you get from Sorcerer. Then I would go probably 2 into Warlock, or, Eldritch Blast. And then I would do 6 into the Bard. It's really just, do you want Eldritch Blast first? With, the ability to... I mean, if you want to get haste, when hasted, and then Sanctuary yourself in the same turn, you might, like, if you were starting from the beginning, you would probably have to go 5 or 6 into Sorcerer, and then just go straight to 6. Well, okay. Yeah, that's the complicated part. This build really doesn't come much online until about level 12. If you were going to do it that way. But what you could do is you could have 6 into this, 4 into Sorcerer, so that you could twin haste, right? You'd have enough sorcery points that you could spend spell slots and whatnot to get sorcery points to twin haste, and then you could sanctuary yourself. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you twin haste Astaria and Shadowheart with these builds that I have, it is insane. You don't even need the other character. The other character is just there for healing, healing word, greater invisibility, stuff like that. And just as a failsafe too. I could also cast with this because of the necromancy of Thay, and I can also become a slayer. So, you know, I have a lot of utility with this character, a lot of utility, but it's mainly a controller build. But it can also give out pretty good damage output. I have the Potent Robe. I also have Birthright, and I also have 2 points from Mirror of Law, so I have 24 Charisma, right? So I have an Eldritch Blast that on average can do about 60 damage. Now, another reason I say this is not a min-max build is that if you were to do those 4 points into Sorcerer instead of going 10 Bard to Warlock, you could twin that Eldritch Blast. Which would also, it just makes it insane. And you could also shoot, and then you could do Quicken Spell and shoot again. Like if you wanted to target the same target. Which is just insane, guys. But, yeah, Potent Robe, really good. Cloak of the Weave, I do that for the spell save DC. Birthright for +2 to Charisma. Now, I do the Gloves of Dexterity so that I can dump Dexterity. This is the main character. And with Bard, I have +12 in the Sleight of Hand. Just because of, putting proficiencies and whatnot into it with all the points that you get from going level 10 Bard. You get a stupid amount of proficiencies. As you guys can see. Yeah. +11 to Performance, +15 to Intimidation, +11 to Deception. You just get stupid bonuses. You really do. From being a Bard. But yeah. Now, I think that kind of wraps up the Bard lock that I have. I'm using this right here. Whoa. It's a good staff. Marco Heshgear is better, but I have that for Shadowheart. Shadowheart is my second strongest build in this playthrough, for sure. You could change out the Hood of the Weave for Birthright if you really wanted the extra spell save DC, but honestly, I get these procced pretty easily. Also, Glyph of Warding. And the reason why I have Glyph of Warding on here is because I can make it cold or I can make it lightning, which synergizes extremely well. This is a good segue into this build. My Tempest Domain Cleric. Now, with this Tempest Domain Cleric, I have a lot of things I can do that are just absolutely broken. Now, first things first, Bolts of Doom, which is going to give us this Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning. Now, this Chain Lightning is insane. It's absolutely broken. We also get Spell Slot Restoration and Arcane Battery from the Spellcrux Amulet and Marco Heshgear. Now, what that means, what we can do is we can first cast Planar Ally. We're going to go with Eva because that goes with our build specifically. It just looks nice with everything, right? Thematically. Now, you could go Genie. You could argue Genie's better, and I wouldn't say you're wrong, but so be it. Then we're going to cast Spell Slot Restoration to gain this spell slot back. Then we're going to cast Hero's Feast and watch everyone's health jump like that. And then we're not done. We're going to cast a level 6 aid And then look at that health, guys. Come on. 181 health with a starring. So that's the really insane part of the build. But it gets better. It gets better. Great water. Greater destroy water. Chain call lightning. But also chain lightning and lightning bolt. That is where this really gets insane. And what we could do is we switch back to this character. You can cast water. No. I'm sorry. You can cast haste on Shadowheart. Sanctuary yourself. And then Shadowheart can then create water and call lightning. Or, ideally, chain lightning in the same turn. You can get some of the most insane damage from that combination right there. But also, well, is there anything else we needed to talk about here? Not really. I mean, you have Ice Storm. Contagion is alright. It's a weird spell. I kind of just put it on there because it's something different. Insect Plague, yeah. You also get, Guidance, Resistance, Thaumaturgy. Just a lot of, you just get a really good kit. You also can put out good damage other ways. You have Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, that can be upcasted. You have Spiritual Weapon. It's really not that good this late in the game, but you still have it. You also have access to all these different healing spells. Revivify, Mass Healing Word, just great stuff. Turn Undead, it's still good. You also have Sanctuary yourself, so you can Sanctuary yourself, for instance. Oh, also, I forgot to pick up all this. Yeah, so guys, if you didn't know, Heroes Feast also gives you a bunch of camp supplies, so you basically never have to worry about camp supplies ever again. Which, if you played in honor mode and got to this point, that's a really cool thing to hear. So that's pretty much it with this build. Now we're going to get to Astarion. And that's where things get kind of insane. So, with Astarion here, we have made him an Ascended Vampire. And we also gave him the Mind Flayer Tadpole upgrade. So he has all these things like Fly, Transfuse Health, which is really good, Black Hole, Mind Sanctuary, which is insane, Stage Fright, Command, and we have Haste ourselves due to the Darkfire Shortbow, which if you didn't know, this bow right here is probably the best bow in the game. And we also have Baldur's Giant Slayer. 20 to 39 damage with the gauntlets that we have. But if we hit a Divine Smite with just a level 1, we're doing 22 to 55 damage. Level 4 Divine Smite, that's 25 to 79 damage, guys. It's kind of insane. Now, if you do this Ascended Bite, it'll give you the Happy buff, which gives you a +1 to all attack rolls, saving throws, and most ability checks, which is pretty insane. So that's just a +1 to attack rolls just from biting someone, which heals you 12 to 72 health points. You also get Misty Escape, which is kind of insane. You can cast this as a bonus action, which makes it to where you're basically unhittable. Especially with the amount of armor that we actually have on Astarion, 23 AC. It's kind of insane. We have the Caustic Pan on here, the Callous Glow Ring. That was because we really just don't have anything else better to put on here. Helldusk Armor, the Deathstalker Mantle, just because when you have advantage on an attack on a build like this, it is absolutely insane, guys. Mask of Soul Perception, and the Boots of Resistance, primarily just because, they're the best boots in the game. One of the best boots in the game, for sure. Now, we did have Viconia's Walk in Fortress and the Orphic Hammer as options for us. If you wanted to go that route, instead of having Baldur's Giant Slayer, it's not wrong. I just feel like having the Great Sword, it's just, come on, it's just so good. But if you wanted to go this route and have 26 AC, I mean, and oh, now we're only doing a measly 13 to 29 damage. Whatever will we do? you know. Uh, but yeah. Also, these Helldust Gauntlets should be on Minthara. I don't know why they're not. So yeah, 23 Constitution, 23 Strength. We did respec this character, so we also have 14 Wisdom on top of having 20 Charisma. Now, 14 Wisdom. I don't know if you guys noticed it yet, but this is a multiclass. Level 8 Paladin, level 4 Cleric. Now, the reason why is we are a Oath of the Ancients Paladin. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Oath of the Ancients Paladin? Ascendant Vampire? That doesn't make sense, and you would be correct. It does not make sense, but it works. I don't know how, but it does. So I can cast Healing Radiance, I can cast Preserve Life, I can do Greater Healing, I can Cure Wounds, and I can do Healing Word, and I get that maximum healing ability, from being that Life Domain Cleric too. And you also get access to 2 level 4s, Divine Smites, which I think you get anyway if you go all the way to level 12 Paladin. I'm not completely sure. But I also get access to stuff like Sanctuary. I also get access to Create or Destroy Water, which, as we saw, we have Shadow Art over here, who has that lightning ability. We also get access to stuff like Silence. We get Turn Undead, which is really good. Turn the Faithless as well. So we're also, not only do we have all these great abilities that comes with being a paladin, we also get stuff like Create Water and Sanctuary. 2 of the best spells in the game. So we have 3 characters that can take themselves or someone else off of the enemy's radar at any time. It's insane. But yeah, I think this is the strongest build that I have right now. And that's just because you just have so much stuff you can do. I mean, the Ascendant Bite is so good. The Reflective Shell, if you end up running with that. But I think I'm going to stick with the Baldur's Giant Slayer. Because, I mean, it's just... you're doing so much damage. You do so much damage. And you can make yourself a giant. Which is just cool. And then that brings us to the final build. Oh, I didn't even finish talking about this. I also have feats. Where's my feat? Savage Attacker on here. Along with 2 other, I think, feats just to make my charisma all the way up. Yeah, and give myself some points somewhere else or something. I can't remember. But yeah.
If it is for the best.
So yeah, here's my Minthara build. Yeah, instead of Legacy of the Masters, I'm gonna go the Helldeath gloves because those are just better. I don't know why I hadn't already done that. But yeah, here we go. We have these 2 from Orin, right? So we're gonna have a +1 to our crit. And exploit the weakness so it makes them vulnerable to piercing damage. This is also a piercing weapon, alright? So we get all those bonuses. And you're adding your ability modifier to the damage of your offhand attack, right? So we get basically a free dual wielder, what's it called? Fighting style, yep. And then Cloak of Displacement is pretty good. You could put another other ones in here, but I feel like that's the best for our particular build. Armor of Agility. It's pretty insane, honestly. You're gonna have 17 plus your dexterity modifier, which on this character we have 20 dex. Yeah. 20 dex, 14 strength, 19 constitution. I just put 14 strength, just kind of make her a packed build, you know. Now, here's where some really good synergy comes in. We have the Ring of Regeneration, and we also have Broodmother's Revenge. So that means that we're almost always going to be dealing a 1d6 poison damage on top of everything else. And I feel like that stuff like that is important on this build because you're going to be hitting so much. You know, your first attack is going to use both your action and your bonus action. So that's 2 hits right there. So this 1d6 gets added twice, right? And then you're going to attack another 2 times. And then if you action surge, then you attack another 3 times. So it's pretty insane that gets added. That 1d6 gets added potentially 6 times. And if you're hasted, then it can be up to 9 times. Right? Plus the bonus action attack, which would be like 10 times. So yeah, pretty insane. Helldust gloves, same concept there. That 1d6 fire damage is going to get added every single time we attack. So yeah, I mean you're just going to shred enemies. Plus we get Killer Sweetheart, so we can crit once per long rest once we kill someone. We have the Deadshot bow. That's also going to give us a +1 to our crit. This is also a champion fighter, so that's -1 to our crit. And once we kill Soravok, we're also going to get his helmet, and that'll give us even more chance. So, currently, we have 1, 2, 3, -3. So on a 17, we can crit. We also have +1 to our attack rolls. So yeah, really it's like 60. It's pretty nutty. If we can roll a 16 or higher, we're going to crit. And you're attacking so much, almost every turn you're going to crit. Now, we could swap out this for the Knife of the Undermount King, just to have even more crit chance, but don't really need it. I just don't feel like we really need it. Now, if you, I feel like this is honestly a pretty min-maxed build. You could say that you could dip into Warlock to get that fear proc every time you crit, but I feel like you're better off having 3 attacks, honestly. Because, I mean, I'm going to have so much debuffs and so much CC from this build that I just do not feel like I need anything else.
I am listening.
From this. I just don't think that I do. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much how I'm doing my Tactician build. I feel like this is a very relatable setup for a lot of you. Especially this setup. Now, this setup is, I would never claim this is a min-max setup, but I feel like this is a true main character build. Like, if this was min-max, this wouldn't be just a drow, this would be a half drow, so that I could have that shield proficiency, right? Or if I was being, like, extremely min-max, I would probably multi-class this into, like, a dragon. That, what's it called? Draconic Ancestry sorcerer for that 13 automatic AC, and plus all the bonuses we have 2 AC, right? But honestly, I can sanctuary myself whenever, and I'm gonna have so many tanks around me. I can also cast greater invisibility on myself if I need to. I can also, if I start getting hurt, I can just change it to the Slayer. So I really just don't even need that much AC, even on Tactician. But yeah, guys, I wouldn't do it exactly like this if this is an Honorwood playthrough. I would do it a little bit different. But for Tactician, with a little bit of roleplay still in mind, I feel like this is supremely a very solid setup. Alright, guys, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be starting up another Honor Mood playthrough pretty soon. If not today, probably tomorrow. And yeah, give me a all right, I'm just gonna end it there. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.